Hi, I'm Rick Champ, Director of Partnership Development with Ignite Church Planting. And with me is Andy Hamilton, who planted Adventure Christian Church in 2003 with Ignite. One of our core values is planter care. We understand that planting is not just a process, but planting is a journey. So we want to have people coming alongside the planter in that journey. So Andy, when you planted it 13 years ago at Adventure Christian Church, who were some of the people that came alongside you, and what difference did that make in the process?
Yeah, so 13 years ago, when we first planted, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was learning about church planting still in seminary, hadn't received my degree yet, and so I needed guidance. And one of the things that Ignite did was they paired me up with one of their staff members at the time, which was Lance Hurley, and he kind of guided me personally through that process, and so it was very beneficial. I didn't feel like I was planting alone. I had someone with me guiding me through the challenges of the planting process from the beginning stages all the way through the launch stage. So.
Okay. And 13 years later, you're still at Adventure Christian Church.
Right.
You're one of our veterans, though one of the young veterans, we should say.
Yep.
But as one of the veterans, what changes have you seen, and what are some of the things we do now to come alongside that planter in the journey of planting a church?
Yeah. So we've obviously learned a lot, and church planting has come a long way in the last several years. And so one of the key things that we've learned is just to pair a church planter with a coach, and to have somebody who can coach them through that process. But Ignite kind of goes beyond just that. The establishment of a management team, that was something that I didn't have, and so I kind of had to learn that through the experience. And so we start that from the beginning with partnership in place, and even pairing the church planter's wife with a church planter's wife coach to help them navigate through various church planting issues that they face.
Okay. And you're speaking in those terms. What's some of the things you've done then in being able to speak into another planter's life?
Yeah, so I sit on a management team for one of our new churches. My wife actually coaches a church planter's wife, and so we've been able to be heavily involved in church planting over the last several years. So it wasn't just we planted a church. We're able to give back through the experience that we've gained.
Okay. Why do you think it's so important for that next generation of planters to have people like you who've done it, who've been there, who've traveled that journey, who now comes along beside them?
Yeah, I think it's important because, there's a lot of books, there's a lot of conferences that you can go to, and a lot of the material that we're reading about is stuff that, guys that have planted churches 30 or 40 years ago. And the beautiful thing about what we have going on with Ignite is we're using experienced church planters to walk alongside of individuals who are just starting the process to help guide them through that process. And so you're not learning from decades old material, you're learning from guys who have done it just recently.
Okay. So you mentioned some of the things that Ignite does to come alongside that. Our executive director being able to meet with them on a regular basis the way he did you 13 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we had everything else. Coaching for the planter, coaching with the planter's wife. And Ignite gathers the planters every 2 months or so together for a day of learning, to share food together, pray together. What's the value of that? What's been some of the things that's
Well, the value of that is that, when you get a group of church planters together and they're able to kind of learn from each other, and so you create this environment where we're learning from one another and we're supporting one another, and it's a very unique thing when you have church planters in an area that are connected. It helps you feel like you really aren't planting your church alone. You have individuals that you can pick up the phone, that you can call, that you can message anytime and just reach out to, and if you need advice or if you just need that connection, you have it. It's built into the system.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, one of those adages we say, and you've heard it echoed, but both of our language, is in our mind, nobody plants alone. We think when you look at how Paul planted churches, there was always somebody going with him. There was always
Yeah.
a group, always a team, always a community around. Our goal is to create that for our planters. So nobody plants alone, whether it's with coaches, with our community of planters coming together. The purpose of that is this is a journey that we're on together, a journey that will plant churches to reach people for Christ. So thanks, Andy, for not only your experience of 13 years of planting Adventure 13 years ago, being there now, but for the investment you're giving to new church planters and helping Ignite create the opportunity to have a community that walks alongside planters for the next
So
churches.
important.
So thank you.
Yep.